What up, everybody? Welcome to Creeps of the Crypt, a Tales from the Crypt podcast where two old men review old episodes of Tales from the Crypt, a show that aired 30 years ago or more on, I think it's like 35 years ago on HBO. I'm your host, John, and along with me, as always, is my co-host.
Other Helen. Yeah, just about. It's about almost, 35 years because it came out in 90, 91. That's when I was born, so. Well,
Yeah.
another year, I'm going to be 35. Holy shit.
Yeah. And we have not done one of these in a month. It's been a month since we've done one of these podcasts. Used to be bi-weekly, but now they're monthly. But how you been, man?
Good. Just been keeping busy. I've been sending you stuff on IG of my journey in playing the Scarface game for the first time.
Yeah.
I've heard all about it. I never got to play it when it came out. So I've just kind of been revisiting a bunch of PlayStation 2 games on just emulators. Just download the ISO file online and pretty much can play any PS2 game. And that was one of them. I've been wanting to play that one for a while. It's a lot of fun, but damn, that game gets really hard near the end. It's hard to find lives and health packs in that game, so it could just easily get shot up by a bunch of guys near the end when spoilers, Tony doesn't die at the end of the original movie, and in the game, he survives and he's on his mission to kill Sosa. And Sosa, of all things, I think it was him or one of the Diaz brothers killed Tony's mom in the game. You get to see that happen. That was wild.
I didn't know that because was it the last time we recorded this that I was talking to you, and then I said, yeah, I used to play the Scarface game, and then you were like, what? I was like, yeah, there's a Scarface game on the PS2. We were talking about old games. I think it was the last time I streamed or something.
It was a little bit after we did the last podcast. I was rewatched Scarface when WrestleMania I think was going on or whatever.
We were watching WrestleMania the night one, and in this chat. So we were talking, and then I was talking about the Scarface game, and I'm like, I played it, but I didn't get far at all, so I don't know what happens. I think he has a baby or something, because I didn't get far, because I think that PS2 crashed or something, or maybe I rented the game from GameFly. Remember GameFly? We used to get
I missed that service.
Yeah. So then he got it on an emulator, and he was playing it, and he was like showing me screenshots and everything. I was like, it looks pretty good. It looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's during that era when San Andreas came out, because it came out on PS2, so it's got that same kind of idea. It's not fully open world. I mean, it's open to a degree, but it's just depending on what's there to do. Most of the game is just kind of grinding your reputation, so it just involves kind of spending a lot of money on exotics, just random collectibles in the game that you can later on rearrange in your mansion. They remodel after the whole attack and raid at Tony's place at the end of the Scarface movie. And you could get Manny and Gina's ashes as a collectible, so I was having fun with that. Putting them next to the jacuzzi. I wish Manny was here.
Yeah.
And then at the latter half, the end game, you get to kill Casper Gomez and the Diaz brothers and Sosa, the final boss.
Fuck Casper Gomez. Fuck the fucking Diaz brothers. Oh, it froze.
I never thought about it as much, but I know during that time when I was watching the movie and then played the game, I asked you if you thought Frank's one of Frank's guys was a rat. So
yes,
it turns out
the main guy
it was, right.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. I never liked him. I never trusted that guy. For all I know, he had my friend Angel Fernandez killed. Yeah.
Which you did, yeah.
Yeah.
Bastard.
I gotta play the Godfather game. I started it. I'm not even sure if it's saved, because I don't know if the memory card works on my PS2.
Oh yeah.
So I
gotta give that a try. I know.
I want to play.
You mentioned that too. I never got to play those.
You didn't see me play it.
I remember you playing it, but I never played it myself. I'm about to get around to that one. The other kind of Mafia game, the Mafia, the first Mafia 3.
Yeah, I haven't played that either.
Good game.
I got to play that.
Mafia 3's got a good story, so definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. So, as you can see, people, we're talking a lot about games and other things than the actual episode. Sorry to burst your bubble, people. Oh, I did want to show one more thing before we get into that. So anybody out there that's listening, sorry that you
Yeah.
can't see what I'm showing on camera here, but I want to show something to the people that are watching. And if you go to ghostcrusadersmerch.com, you can see these cool t-shirts.
Hey,
There you
I got
go,
that
right
one,
here.
the Ritter House one. That's a good shirt.
Yes, we got a bunch of t-shirts inspired by Tales from the Crypt, obviously. And we have a new one right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called Ulrich Loves Cats. Everyone loves cats, but Ulrich specifically loves cats. And you get it as small, medium, large, extra large, 2XL, 3XL, 4XL, and 5XL. I can't believe this 5XL. But anyway, it's $24.99. And if you see you go to ghostcrusadersmerch.com, on the top it'll tell you use these promo codes and you'll get discounts on the shirts. So there you go. This is just for this shirt. We got this awesome one. It's called Naughty or Nice. It's a little inspired by a special episode 2 of Tales from the Crypt. As you can see here, I don't know why they only have 3XL for this shirt, but for some reason the other shirt has more sizes. This one they have extra small. This one's this is inspired by the Ritter House and Goosebumps. So this is interesting.
Yeah, I love
right
it. That's it takes me back to when I was in elementary school, checking
Yeah.
out those cool Goosebumps
It's
covers.
actually the first book. This is the first Goosebumps book.
Wow. I remember
Like the
that one,
cover,
but I didn't know
kind
that was
of.
the first book.
Yeah, this is the first one. So it was a terrible book too. It was called Welcome to Murder House or Haunted House. I don't know. It was pretty bad. I saw the episode on it was pretty bad. I mean, I don't know. I like they had so many good stories in the first issues, R.L. Stine of Goosebumps. So like there were other ones that were better, like Stay Out of the Basement. That was really good. I remember reading that as a kid and loving it. I even read one that looked cool. I thought was cool was Attack of the Mutant. And that book, it was okay, but I liked it because it looked like a superhero type thing. I don't remember it at all.
I kind of remember the episode from the live action show. Vaguely, but yeah, like that was one of those series I don't remember reading, but I know I've read, but I only ever watched the show, and it was kind of like you were saying that there's only a few that are pretty good episodes, and other ones were kind of crap. I like the Haunted Mask one. That's one of my favorite episodes or stories.
Yeah, my brother loves that one too. He bought the mask because of that when he got older. Or I think I bought it for him for his Christmas gift or something. And anyway, we have a bunch of shirts on ghostcrusadersmerch.com inspired. Right here is American Creep. This is my favorite design. I came up with this as soon as it just came up to my head, which is basically the American, American Gothic? Is that the name of the picture?
I think that's what that painting's called.
Yeah, so this one's American Creep, and it's beautiful. A beautiful picture of our favorite episode.
Grant Wood. Yeah, inspired. Yeah. Grant Wood.
Beautiful. And then there's also other shirts you can get, and you'll look at the website, you'll figure it out for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and people listening.
Don't forget use those codes up there.
Yeah. You could use code Crusades13 to get 13% off your order. That's just one of the codes you can use. They'll tell you on the website.
No terrorists on this, right?
What?
No terrorists on these shirts, right? Given the current climate we're in right now.
No, there's no terrorists.
Just to make sure that those shirts are good.
No, there's no terrorists.
All right, you'll be good guys.
Yeah. So that's that. So anyway, let's get to the there's no terror. There's serial killer shirts. You got Ted Bundy, Charles Manson, Jeffrey Dahmer, and people go, "What the hell would you get those shirts?" I don't know. Some people are into that kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. I mean, I'm into that stuff, sorry. I mean, hey, some people might wear Osama. Hey, a lot of crazy people in the streets would wear that today, one of these, but I have I also thought cool. I mean, it's terrible, the history that's behind it, but what's that group, the crazy people that they wore these specific Nikes because they thought that they were going to go into space. So they were aliens and they're going to come and abduct them. I forgot the name of these, of those guys, but there's a shirt like that on there called
And the
Away
Heaven's
Team.
Gate, right?
Yes, Heaven's Gate. I have their logo patch as a shirt on my
It's that drinking all that Kool-Aid,
yeah.
man.
And Pogo the Clown from John Wayne Gacy. So anyway, yeah. So you could go over to GhostCrusadersMerch.com, check out those shirts if you want, and pick one out. It's awesome. This
Hell yeah.
episode's sponsored by GhostCrusadersMerch.com. So yeah, check out those shirts. And let's get into the nitty gritty. And that would be this episode of Tales from the Crypt, season 4, episode 5, titled Beauty Rest. It originally aired on July 11th, 1992. It was written by Terry Black as Donald Longtooth. So we're going to have to rewatch that episode because obviously Terry Black thought it was great. And it probably did gangbusters for Tales from the Crypt for some reason. People must have loved it because he already did 2 other episodes after that episode, he wrote 2 other episodes and used Donald Longtooth as the name. Instead of giving himself credit, he used Donald
one of
Longtooth.
those pseudonyms, right?
Yeah. And then what?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say we're gonna break it to everybody, huh? This episode
Soon.
wasn't one of mine.
Well,
Wasn't one of my favorites. So
it was directed by Stephen Hopkins, who directed Predator 2. I think he directed another episode of Tales from the Crypt also. I may be wrong. And also A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. Funny enough, there's a girl in here that's from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. And she's in here. And I'm like, whoa, they never work. Maybe he just wanted to work with her. So this episode does have positives. So it's not the best episode. But I will say one of the positives is that the women are gorgeous in this episode. That's one of the plus. But anyway, why don't you tell us of the synopsis of this episode before we get into it?
Yeah, Helen, played by Mimi Rogers. She's in this episode. She's kind of been, I guess she's a model. She's kind of trying to make it big into the world of modeling, and she's got a little to show for with her efforts. So just thinks a lot to like her rotten attitude, but she pretty much finds out she lost out this perfume commercial to her roommate, who's also, I guess, a model as well. So that kind of how this episode kind of unfolds, and she's just trying to figure out how did she get this part, and she learns about this pageant that she also got a shoe in to win with this guy that she met. And that's kind of like how the story unfolds there. It's like she's ends up trying to take her spot, and she's kind of willing to do everything to get everything that she wants from Joyce. Really, that I won her on all these two different instances.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the episode, and that's all. No,
that's all, folks. Yeah.
What do you? I mean, we'll go to. Normally, we don't get to what our thoughts are on the episode right away, but you did say, you see, this is a weird mixed bag because the first time I watched this, because I did watch this after the last time we recorded the podcast, I actually liked it. I didn't think it was fantastic, but I liked the acting after a certain point. We'll get to when we break down the episode. I liked the acting, and then I mean, the ending was, what can I say? Especially then I read, okay, so I liked it the first time. I don't know why. I kind of liked it. I was like, it's not terrible. I mean, we've seen worse, It was predictable, kind of, You knew something was going to happen because now you already expect that, You expect, but I think the main thing for me, why I didn't think it was fantastic, wonderful, super great, is because we got an episode very similar to this with John Lovitz not that long ago. It's pretty much the same episode, but with the girl instead of a guy, So that's
true. Yeah. That's kind of mainly where my criticism came from that. And then, like you mentioned, it's a little bit predictable. I think we've seen instances where they slightly changed the ending to sometimes make it better, but they didn't really stray too far away from the original source that we'll talk about too a little bit. That's kind of mainly it. I don't think it's the worst, but it's not one of my favorites.
Yeah. But anyway, so the episode starts out with a 80s or 90s style, like it's her lead actress, which is, I don't know if we said the lead actress is starring
Mimi Rogers.
Mimi Rogers and Kathy Ireland are the two main stars in this. So Mimi Rogers she's looking into the camera and she's like giving this little monologue, and it's like it feels like an 80s or 90s, like more 90s, and it is 90s. Feels like a 90s like cheapo commercial. It doesn't really like it's
something that comes on at 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Like something that comes on at 2 a.m. Like they're trying to be sexy or something, and you know, she did a great job. I think Mimi Rogers is very pretty. I think I know her from Gung Ho. There's a movie called Gung Ho with Michael Keaton. I think I talked about Gung Ho before on this podcast too, surprisingly. She was also Mrs. Kensington in Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery.
Why don't you ever model for me, Mrs. Kensington?
You know how Mr. Kensington feels about that.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
There's Mrs. Kensington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mrs. Kensington. And she was also in the X-Files. So she's very gorgeous. Very, very gorgeous, I think. Very pretty and voluptuous.
Yeah, I always thought she was pretty. She was pretty, and she's still working right now too. I know she's
surprising.
She's on that show Bosch for the longest time, and I got into that show early on when it came out.
Yeah, I watched one episode. Then Kathy Ireland's the other girl's her roommate. So anyway, she's who's also very gorgeous. So she does the stupid. The one thing I did laugh was that she's like, I don't go anywhere without, you know, this is the type of perfume that's right for me. And then she pulls it up and it says Ball Busters. And I was talking about you right away because you're into colognes and stuff. I was like, would you buy a cologne if it was for guys called Ball Busters? I can't imagine a woman buying a perfume called Ball Busters.
Well, that's the only like part that I think I did like about the episode. I thought it was pretty funny, or I thought it was a bit on the nose, especially with how those commercials used to be in the 90s. I mean, for me, you know, after watching wrestling, they would show these random commercials late at night, so it gave me those vibes. And then like you said, I'm big into cologne, so I like the different options to wear. But yeah, this one it's pretty ridiculous enough that I don't know if anybody's gonna be willing to buy that, really.
No. I noticed that also her name's Helen, and they don't give her a last name because later on I'll tell you why. Because I'm like, what the hell? Like, why didn't they give them last names? In the comics, they have last names. But anyway, she goes. We got Helen, and then they talk about the perfume, and then they go. You hear the bell ring, like cut. Okay, all right, that was fantastic. And it's like a point of view of her seeing all the hectic people walking around, telling her how great she was, and the director saying she got the part.
Excuse me, Emilio? Does that mean I got the part?
As I'm concerned, you are the ballbuster girl. You it. Done deal.
You are Mrs. Ballbuster.
That was a good line. Right there.
I was like, oh, okay. And then she goes, oh, she's so happy. And then she goes, I got the part. And then it cuts to like she's at her agent's office, and she goes, what do you mean I didn't get the part? And then she goes, who got it? And then she goes, I don't know if he tells her exactly who got it. He goes, what does it matter who got it? You know, he's trying to like calm her down.
He's trying to evade the question. Yeah, like what was it her agent? I think it was.
Yeah, and it ends up she finds out that it was her roommate got it, and then she goes, well, how did she get it? She said, I got the part. He goes, you know, well, she slept with him, didn't she? She probably slept with him. And she goes, you see, she's willing. He says something along the lines of like, I'm not willing to do those types of things to get ahead. You know, why can't I just earn what I get from my, you know, performance? Why do I have to go sink to that level? Which is funny enough, since all the stuff happening in Hollywood, you know, with the Me Too movement that happened and everything. It's like they were even writing about it then. Like, you know, the casting couch thing is real. In order to get ahead, you got to give some head or do something, you know? And she's like,
agent's like, what are you willing to do?
Yeah, what are you willing to do? And then she's just like, and then she goes home and she's pissed. And she can't stand this girl. So obviously this has happened several times before, where her roommate Joyce, played by Kathy Ireland, who I know from Necessary Roughness with Scott Bakula. That's the only thing I remember her from. She was hot in that. She's her roommate, and they start arguing right away. She's like, "Oh, guess what?" She's like, "Helen, guess what?" And she's just like, "What?" She just goes off on her and she started being a bitch. And she's just terrible. She's a horrible roommate. She's like, "I want you out of here." And then she's like, "This is my apartment."
Yeah, she's the worst.
And she's such a nice girl. Yeah, Joyce is such a nice girl. And then at the end, you find out she didn't even know she got this part.
Ball buster? You mean I got ball buster? Yes.
You didn't even know? What the hell are you so goddamn happy about?
She could care less about
Yeah,
that.
she's like, "What?" And she's like, "Wait, you didn't know you got the part?" She's like, "No, this is great news." And she's like, "Oh," she's even more mad. He's like, "So what the fuck were you so happy about when I walked in here?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna win a contest." My boyfriend gave me this note. He's like a judge or something. He says, "All I have to do is give this note to this guy named George, and I'm gonna win." And then she's just like, oh, she's even more mad.
Just steaming and see the smoke come out of your ears.
She was doing some foul stuff, like eating her ice. She goes, "That's my ice cream," and then she like spits it back inside. And then she just starts,
I didn't like it anyway.
yeah. Then she starts bugging out because she's just like, "Oh my god, why is this girl getting everything?" I think they could have done something along the lines to make it a little bit better. Is that if she feels like because they do that in other episodes of Tales from the Crypt too, though, is that she's older than her roommate, because she does seem like she's older than her roommate. Funny enough,
it looks like that way. Yeah, but I mean, they both look pretty good, but I could see her coming off like more the one that's been at it longer than her at least.
Which is interesting because I don't know. They're both beautiful. She reminds me, Mimi Rogers, of the woman that plays in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Although they're not the same, she looks just like her, I think. Kind of like that woman that Steve Carell is with in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Imagine it is her. She changed her name. No, it's not her. It's not her.
It's Catherine Keener.
Yeah, Catherine Keener.
They did look similar.
They look alike. Yeah. So it's funny, but I'm surprised. Imagine she auditioned for that and she didn't get it. That'd be hilarious. It's Kathleen Keener. She's always taking my roles. That'd be hilarious. But no. So she gets pissed. She goes into the bathroom, and she basically just like, I guess she has to wash her hands because she put her hands. She went through everything. Like she started eating donuts. She's just making. Anyway, so she went to the bathroom.
Yeah, stress eating pretty much, and she went in and made her some tea, and I think we see her. Put some sleeping medication in.
When she was in the bathroom, she went crazy and she grabbed this bottle, and it said "Doze Off." It doesn't make sense.
It's like the Acme font on there, "Doze Off."
And then "Doze Off." What do you mean? And then it has like the skull and so this thing.
That's weird.
It was
like a cartoon rat poison.
Yeah, and then she was like, "Huh." But that makes it sense. Doze off would mean like not to fall asleep, like caffeine. You know what I mean? Doze off, or it should be like doze on, or dozy, or something stupid. Whatever. Doze off.
Yeah.
Or I guess it means like doze, like fall asleep. Doze off.
The skull and bones. Yeah, I'm looking at it. The skull and bones on it make it look like some poison.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly. She knew she was going to give her poison. So then, she goes and she decides to make her tea and cookies, and then she goes over to her, and then you see Kathy Ireland's body. Oh, what a body! I was like, wow. This episode, that's what I was gonna say. The women are fantastic. Even Mimi Rogers, try to make her. She's wearing these these jeans up to past her, above her belly button, and this belt to try to make her look like she's gorgeous too.
She looks good though.
Yeah, she's gorgeous too. It's like, get out of here! You try to make her not look sexy. She's still sexy, especially
she's got the gray tank top on.
Yeah,
she's looking good.
Yeah. So she gives her the drink, and then she goes, "So what does that note say?" It's like, "Oh no." It's like, "What is the contest for?" And then she's like, "I don't even know." Like, she doesn't even know what the contest is about, what it's for, what she has to do. She goes, "All I know is I have to go over there. I'm going to win a beauty contest. I just have to show this note, and that's it." And she goes, "Oh, that's it?" He goes, "Yeah." And then she started drinking the tea already. Then she just passes out. And then she's like,
she started laughing. And you see her, the camera like panning in and out of her, like she's starting to feel it.
yeah. So then she looks at the note and she reads it. Says,
overdosed.
George, this girl's great. She's the one. Make sure she gets it, Tom. And then she's like, oh, great. It doesn't say your name or anything on it. Like, you know, like, I'm just going to go as you. And she's just dead. And then she realizes that she killed her. And she's like, oh, my God. Like.
And she faked her suicide pretty much.
Yeah.
Wrote a note and stuff. And
which is pretty much what she does in the comic.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually very identical to the comic.
Very beat for beat on that one.
Yeah, actually almost everything except one thing is that in the comic book they don't say in advance. Well, they say in advance what the competition is, and in the show they don't. They because if you knew in the show what you're gonna know.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't like in the comic.
We're already suspecting.
Yeah, the comic you say what it is. It's like we're gonna know. We're gonna know. Anyway, yeah. She flips out that she killed her, and then she's just like, oh shit, she just writes a suicide note, and she's like, whatever. So, Mimi Rogers, she and her
big fucking tits
decide to leave and go to the show, or to the contest with the note. And then she looks for George, and she finds George, and she gives George the note. She says she's just there for the pageant. She doesn't know what it is, and they don't really. Do they even tell her what it is at that point?
No, they didn't really make it. They didn't really make it clear. He was being vague about it. The guy, George, or the guy he was giving the letter to.
I can't believe she put like the note was like the direction of my life. It was headed in what? Great, you were getting everything you wanted, and then she did a good job though. She put water on her eyes like she was crying. You know, like she put like little drops of water. She cleaned everything so that you wouldn't tell that she touched the doze off. I mean, why would you just get rid of the doze off? You know, like, oh no, because she took it. That's why. So she had to.
Put it. She was holding on to it.
Said she was.
Making it too obvious.
Yeah. Wow. Still, there's a guy in here who's security. He looks like this. That guy from that movie Stone Cold. It was a movie called Stone Cold. It's not Steve Austin, and it was something Bauer was the guy's name. Funny enough, not Michael Ray Bauer. That's the fucking Donkey Lips.
The bubble guts. The bubble guts. The bubble guts. Rockin' to the beat.
But anyway, she goes and
she got the same hair as Hogan.
She goes and she asks for George, and we see another girl talking to George. And then that girl is her name's Jennifer, or the actress name's Jennifer Rubin. I don't know what her name is, Drusella or something ridiculous. In this, I had a crush on this girl, on Jennifer Rubin. Oh my God, I had a crush on her when I was a kid. I had a crush on her because she was the girl in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful and bad.
She had like the biggest mohawk and one of those pocket knives. Trying to kill Freddy with it.
She says, "In my dreams, I'm beautiful," and it goes with the switchblades and bad.
We'll see, bitch. We'll just see.
Unfortunately, that was not. By the way, that clip is from 5 Dream Child, which Stephen Hopkins directed. Anyway, she finds George. She gives him the note, and George is like, "Oh, Tom." And then I think later on, she's like, how do you know Tom? Like, because she's like, she kind of feels like this woman isn't a woman that Tom would pick. Just seems more like intelligent, I guess. But it's funny. But anyway, the girl, Drusella, whatever, saw her talking to her, giving her the note, and she just automatically assumes that Helen went and sucked his cock or something and got this, she's gonna win automatically.
Same thing she was saying about her roommate. Being said about her now.
Yeah, and Jennifer Rubin's gorgeous. By the way, besides Nightmare on Elm Street, she was also in Crush, where she played this doctor from Princess Bride. Whatever. No, he's not the doctor he's from Princess Bride. I forgot his name. Lawrence. And he's also in Saw. He was the doctor in Saw. So he's the lead. Carrie Ellis. I had to remember Doctor Lawrence. No, Carrie Ellis is his name. So anyway,
Yeah, that's
Jennifer,
great. That first one was good.
yeah, Jennifer Rubin's yelling at her, and then she's like, "I'm not that kind of girl." It's like, no, I'm not my roommate. I just murdered for it. I don't suck cock for it. Sorry about the foul language.
More respectable killing her than sucking cock.
Yeah, sorry about the foul language, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, she's like, I don't have sex for. She goes, I don't have sex for it. I'm a good girl, you know. I just murder. I just murder my roommate for this part. And then she asks her like, what am I actually like doing? Like what is this for? Like what am I winning? Like what is this pageant about?
When I become the company spokesmodel, what exactly will I be selling?
Well, more than anything else, you'll be selling yourself. Who you are inside.
So fucked up. You see, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I have to say, I kind of do. I do like that answer. Like you be selling yourself, you whore.
Which ties into what happens at the end, and it was being honest about it in a way.
Yeah,
not fully telling her exactly, but the line was the line was written there.
Yeah,
to make sense later.
Yeah, you're basically selling yourself. You
fucking whore!
Classic clip. That's
love that episode.
I know you didn't think too much about it when before we reviewed it, but like that one really quickly became my favorite.
One of my favorites. It's one of my favorites of all time because of him. Because he's so great.
He was that guy was a great actor.
Paranoid. He's a great. You should. Did you watch? You didn't tell me you watched it, but you watched Death Wish 3, right? Because I was praising that. Like crazy.
Yeah, I remember. You were telling me you were watching it, and he was in it. So I was like, oh, I gotta check it out because I really liked him in that Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah,
he's proud.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Love that one.
Yeah. Anyway, so she's like, oh, she's so happy that she's selling herself and for who she really is. So she goes, and we see the other girls. A lot of beautiful women. One ditz is being questioned. She answered the question ridiculously. I forgot what she actually said. But anyway, Drusilla or whatever her name is, basically, you see her talking to George. And then George is like, George, what's going on? And he's like, come with me. And he takes her to another room. And he goes, this letter doesn't exist. And then he rips it up. And then he goes, what? Why? What happened? I'm still going to win, right? I'm still going to win.
Yeah.
And then she's like, he tells her, right? He tells her like, she threatened to sue. No, she doesn't. She goes to whatever her name is. What is her name in this episode? Drusilla?
Drusilla. Drusilla spoke to him on the side. And you find out that
she's starting to sue him.
Gonna blackmail him.
That she knows she's gonna take him to court or whatever. Yeah.
You should have seen the look on George's face when I told him I was gonna sue his ass off.
Sue him?
For sexual harassment. I told him I'd call the police, call the newspapers. You know, this business of sleeping with someone to win a contest is bullshit.
But then, like, see, this is the thing that sucks. If she would have just let that play out, she would have been fine. But she had to win. So when she tells her
at all costs,
she's like, "No, you got the wrong idea about me. I'm not that type of girl." And she goes, "Well, what type of girl are you?" And she goes, "I'm this type of girl." And she takes the chain and she chokes her out with it. Yeah. I thought it was a necklace that she took from her roommate. It was pantyhose,
something like that.
It was something. But anyway, so she just chokes her out. She's like, based like the same thing that happens with John Lovitz in his episode when he kills his buddy, the actor. So he dumps her on the side, and then she goes up and she's like, George comes up and he goes, "Where's Drusilla?" She goes, "Oh, she left. She left." Yeah. She said something like she's not interested in this anymore or something. So we still have a deal, right? And she's like, yes. So it was hilarious. Then they asked her,
got somebody here.
Because the whole thing that happened earlier is why they asked her a question. She was like, what the hell? Why are you asking me such a difficult question? Like, why was it so difficult? Everyone else got ditzy questions, which led to all of this. So So then they take her to another room and they start doing her makeup, and which doesn't make sense because she ended up looking pretty good like pretty, you know, her face later on in the last scene. So, but they take her to this room. And they put her on the bed. He goes, well, I could do my own makeup. Where the guy's like, ugh, I don't want to deal with these women anymore. George, next time.
He's like this guy in a leather jacket.
Yeah.
And I thought she was going to get a tattoo or something, but then he goes over her and doing her makeup and shit.
Yeah. Let me show you this. Let's see. I'll show you exactly what we're talking about.
That part was kind of funny, though, too.
Right here.
Yeah.
Work fast, Rudy.
Don't I always? Open your room.
Rudy.
Guy's trying to act gay.
Yeah, terrible job.
Right?
Yeah. He's too butch.
He's like a straight guy trying to act gay.
Yeah. I do like what he tried to do. He's a director.
Great bone structure.
Yeah, like some shots of her like POV and stuff. It's kind of mixes it up a bit.
They should have made it seem like.
I thought we were gonna go for the natural look, or doesn't my opinion mean anything?
Of course, your opinion counts, Rudy. You're part of the team.
Wait, this is too heavy. It's not going to look right.
Get your hand away.
Listen, I'm really fine with doing my own makeup.
I swear to God, George, this is the last year I'm doing this. This whole beauty pageant thing's enough to make me throw up. We should just take them off the streets like the old days.
Rudy, Rudy, Rudy.
The little things too. You notice when it wraps up the little lines.
George, would you make it stop?
It's like has this happened once more than once?
Looking like this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Exposition.
No.
They always get these like bright glow in the dark looking colors for the syringes, huh?
Yeah.
They're like the Reanimator inspired kind of with the syringes. I think there was like a red or blue one, right? In that one episode with the brothers.
I like that this one's blue
like
because they did one with Reanimator.
Yeah.
Where it's
like bright,
it's green.
bright green, right?
Yeah, it's really like the yellows, like yellow highlighter.
Yeah, like Gatorade yellow, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what it counts what's inside. What so happens that this is Miss Corpse 1980 whatever, and I do think it was interesting. That's how they actually do it. So when they open you, like, you know, when you in science class and you have to dissect a frog or whatever, you have to open it and pin him in. So they have her up there as a display. But why would they use real people? I don't know. It's Tales from the Crypt. So they have these people, you know, they should have focused more on the people, the audience members, like they do in the comic a little bit. In the comic, they have it like the mortician and all these people, these embalmers. They're the ones hosting this annual thing, and then what they want to do is they get this woman that's interesting enough, you know. And this one is more about just George, the girls, most about the girls, and you don't really see the audience at all until the end, where they show her on stage, opened up, and they get up and they clap when they see her. And again, he was doing her makeup all messed up like she was a prostitute, but then she looked kind of beautiful at the end when she was there like this.
She got to do her own makeup. I guess after that.
No, they killed her. She didn't get to do her own makeup. So yeah, that was the episode in general, and I will say I liked it, even though it's not great for what it was. It wasn't terrible. I will say that.
I'll be the last one to shed on this one. This wasn't bad. It's just not one of my favorites. I mean, I think not even really the story was all that crazy, but I guess for what they did. Yeah, I would rewatch this over other bad ones we've seen though. It's not too bad.
She's
It's enough there to keep you interested.
She's Miss Autopsy 1992. In the comic, she's Miss Corpse 1950
right?
something, because the comic is old, ladies and gentlemen. Which is awesome though. Let's see the comic here. Talk about the comic. Like we said, it's pretty much the same.
Yeah, the art on this is really, really good. Like these old EC comics, like damn, this stuff is like way better than the new stuff that EC's been putting out with that.
And look at how they tease little boys back then, like in the 50s. Remember, even on TV shows like I Love Lucy and things, you couldn't show certain part. You know, like what movie is that? I think it's it was what's that movie? The Aviator, where Leonardo DiCaprio's playing Howard Hughes, and he's making a movie, and like the actress has a shirt, like she has big voluptuous, you know, breasts, and she's wearing a top that's like a little skimpy, and then the MPAA didn't want anything, like was like saying no, they couldn't do that, that it was blasphemy or whatever. So then he had to have like a scientist come on and say like it's because like it was so weird. It's in the movie, so you got to watch it. But like they couldn't show anything, and she was covered, and it was just because she was voluptuous like that. I mean, even in the '60s, supposedly, Burt Ward, the guy who played Robin, he was very well endowed. That they made him wear like three supposedly, that's a rumor, they made him wear 3 underwear to cover it up so you wouldn't tell that he was, you know. But that I understand, because that show was made for kids, you know. That'd be fucking disgusting.
Sure. Seeing the bulge.
Yeah, you see
the
the
bulge.
but like look at this. They're showing, look at this girl. They show her, oh, this is very scandalous. The shoulders. This is ridiculous. Back in the 20s, you couldn't show knees, right? In the 50s, it was shoulders. This is too much. This is why they had a lot of problems, William M. Gaines, when it came to the comics. Well, it weren't even Comics Authority. It was just parents burning it down and going crazy. Anyway,
right.
The comic starts out the exact same way as the show. She puts sleeping pills though, and again she accidentally, she's like, but she tells her, and then she takes it, she passes out, and she's still asleep when she goes to sleep. You know, she doesn't automatically start writing out her, you know, death, her suicide note.
Yeah, she goes to the meeting afterwards, and then
when she comes back to tell her like, oh yeah, I did great. All I have to do now is go to the actual, you know, thing. She discovers that she killed her, and she's like, she comes in, she goes, well, honey, here I am, Miss Corpse 19. But yeah, that's the thing. She knows that she's Miss Corpse. They tell you right away. She tells her right away. What's her name in this? Is it Joyce also? Yes, it's Joyce and Helen. But it's Helen Curtis. We know her last name. So in this episode, when they said, here is Miss Helen. What?
Yeah, that part was funny. They go, "Why you just give her a last name?"
Yeah, I guess Bush wasn't even important. Yeah, I know. I don't know why didn't they use last name in the comic. But yeah, she knows from the beginning she's gonna be Miss Corpse. See, but like if we knew in the episode, it would take away from the ending. So, but I think they could have done something better with like instead of just
that's what I'm thinking too. Yeah,
in the show, right? Instead of having just the inside stomach being ripped apart. It could have been like her whole skin is gone, you know, and she was still alive or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
just do that thing. Well, yeah, I mean, if they were able to do it right, like do that scene from Hellraiser was his skin gets ripped off.
Yeah, like that, just skin
and just him on the table, or getting just strapped in a chair or something, and just
she could be screaming too. She could be screaming.
She's just, her organs are getting sold on the black market or something.
I don't know. It could have parts of her like she's there with no skin, and then some of her body parts are open and still moving, and then she's like screaming like that, but like all her skin is off, removed from her. That would have been much better. I think that would have been like that could have made it better.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would made a little. I mean, I would have liked it. It would have been badass actually. If that as a kid, if I would have saw that, I would have been like, "What the hell?" You know, this was okay. It was like whatever. But anyway,
it was fine.
At the end, when she wants to know when she's gonna win, they tell her, members of the Undertakers and Embalmers Association, I give you Helen Curtis, Miss Corpse of 1954. Mr. Boxer was there with the others leering at her. What happened to Miss Noble, Miss Curtis? She was supposed to win. I took her place. She couldn't make it. Mr. Boxer shook his head sadly. A pity, Miss Curtis. You shouldn't have bothered. You see, Miss Curtis, Miss Corpse of 1954 must actually be a corpse. Get her, boys. Ah! And it goes, they came at her with rustling of rubber tubes and a winnowing. What the hell? I never heard of that word. Winnowing of scalps and sloshing of embalming fluid and a humming of pumps and motors. Okay, so they coming at her with everything that they use when they when they're working. They're gonna put that in her right away. That would have been cool too, if they actually show her putting the embalming
it
fluid.
says, oh yeah, winnowing means blow a curtain of air through. So they're bull rushing her.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't mind this episode. It was the comic is not terrible. But funny enough, the comic that it's based on is from the same comic that is what's the episode? The Naughty or Nice episode.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what that episode's titled.
All Through the House.
All Through the House, yeah. Which, funny enough, actually is like exactly the All Through the House comic is actually just like the Tales from the Crypt movie. I mean, the show does a really, really great job too. But identical, I think, is the movie, the actual 1970s film. It was pretty good. But yeah, this episode wasn't terrible. I liked it. I'd give it out of 5 stars, 3 out of 5 stars. I'd give it, to be honest.
I guess the more we talked about it, at least were able to pick out some of the highlights of it or the positives. Yeah, not my favorite one, but not the worst. I'm gonna give it the same too. 3.5. 3 out of 5. I mean, 3 out of 5.
So you give it 3.5 out of 5. A 3.5. You gave it 3.5 out of 5.
Oh no, I corrected myself. It was 3 out of 5 for me. I think we're on the same boat on this one. I can't hate it that much. I think the two leads kind of made it interesting enough. They're both nice to look at, and the story was pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward even in the comic. But yeah, I think the minus some things that they could have improved upon. I can't shit on it. At least it's like a pretty spot on adaptation of the comic.
Yeah, not bad. All right. Yeah, so that was this month's episode of Creeps of the Crypt. Episode Beauty Rest. Not bad at all. Decent. But the next episode's one of the better episodes of the entire series. What's Cooking, starring Christopher Reeve, which you saw. I still have not. I've watched it the first time it ever aired, okay? I've seen the episode. But I've not rewatched it. So when we get to that episode, when we're going to talk about it,
hell yeah,
I'll rewatch it and I'll have my thoughts. I can't wait. Anyway, guys, that's all for this week's episode. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys next time when we talk about What's Cooking, a great episode I haven't seen in a long time. Alan recently just saw it. When he's not going to talk about it to me because I want to watch it fresh. So that will be next month's episode, and then hopefully on Patreon we will do a commentary for Vault of Horror. So anyway, if you're on YouTube and Rumble, please remember to like this video, subscribe if you're new here. And if you're also found us on Spotify or iTunes, leave us a review, hopefully positive or even negative. It all helps the algorithm in the long run. Do you want to shout anything out, Alan, before we go?
No, nothing major. Just you can follow me on X under Splinter47, and yeah, I'll sometimes do some streams on Twitch, but under the same handle too. So yeah, we'll drop the links down below.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace.